we're going to do one of my favorite segments that we do, the best gear of the year of 2023. Now, that's kind of a misnomer because we're not going to just do gear. This could be anything that you loved in 2023. It doesn't even have to be something that came out in 2023, but something that you got into and loved in this last year. And then Griffin made it a little spicier. He said, hey, how about we also add the worst thing? And I said, oh, well, there's plenty of those. In fact, we could be here for a whole nother hour and Lewis could just do those things. But we're going to do maybe one of each. Does that sound fair? Why don't we go around and should we do the worst first? Let's do the best first, and then let's end with the worst, because I feel like those will be maybe more fun. Does anyone want to go first?
I've got a good one, so I should go last.
Okay. Lewis, how are you feeling about how are you feeling about your choice?
Well, I feel okay about it, although it seems like forever ago that I watched it.
Okay. Why don't I go first then? Because I don't know if mine's going to be the most exciting thing, but I do like it. So this was the year of Matter for me. We've talked about Matter here on the show. Matter is the new connection standard that Apple, Google, Amazon, other tech companies are using to make their IoT devices, their internet-connected devices, more accessible and more compatible with different ecosystems. And it also includes a technology called Thread, which is critical to Matter. Dudes, this is going to be a game changer. It's just so awesome. I don't use that word very often. I've been playing around with some Matter connected or Matter compatible devices. In fact, Best Buy has a sale on some. Let me see if I can bring this up. So I just bought this. They didn't even send it to me. I should ask them to send it to me. I've been playing around with this TP-Link Tapo Smart Wi-Fi Outdoor Plug, and I've also been playing around with their indoor mini plugs. So what makes Matter so cool? Well, Matter is compatible across all the different companies. So whereas before you had to buy a device that was compatible with HomeKit or with Google or with Amazon, now you buy a device and it's compatible with everyone, which is great for us Apple people because the HomeKit accessory market is garbage. There's just not very much stuff. And what is out there is usually expensive because of the licensing fees. And so what this means for us is way more accessories, and they're not going to have like these huge price tags attached to them because of the Apple tax. So way more compatibility. But even more than that is Thread compatibility. Thread compatibility essentially lets these devices talk to each other and act as routers. So with HomeKit, your device that you want to control has to be near the HomeKit hub, either an iPad or an iPhone or your Apple TV. Well, that's great, but a lot of devices that are outdoors or in a distant reach of your house are not close to the hub, and so you will get intermittent reliability or no reliability. The device just won't work because it can't be communicated. It can't communicate with the hub. With Thread, which is included with Matter, anything that's plugged in can act as a router. So the devices will speak to one another, and they'll transmit your message or the message coming from the hub back to the hub. So they can be controlled no matter where they are as long as they're within reach of another Matter device. And it works so much better. My back porch lights, which have failed to turn off for months now because my iPhone wasn't close by, suddenly work perfectly because these devices now will communicate with each other, and they also will figure out the fastest route of communication between your device and the hub. And so reliability is now rock solid, way farther reach, so you can have these devices work wherever they are in your yard, in your house, and the prices are coming down. The compatibility is way better. I mean, it's just win. It's the rare triple win, win, win. There's not many of those these days, but with Matter, there's just nothing that I've seen that isn't just way better than the previous method of having everyone do their own thing and walled gardens everywhere. I'm actually kind of shocked that Apple went for this. It doesn't seem like something that they would do, but now you can buy Matter gadgets and have it work with all of your technology. Now, the one thing I should mention is Matter isn't ubiquitous yet. a lot of companies are still waiting to roll out Matter support to their devices via software updates or introduce it in new technology. But it is available. Like I said, I just bought these TP-Link smart plugs, and they work perfectly. I really like this outdoor smart plug because it has 2 plugs that you can control independently. And I'm still testing this stuff, so this isn't really a review of the TP-Link Tapo smart plugs. I still have to play around with them. But so far, they've been outstanding.
Wow,
And
$17.99.
Well, that's for the outdoor one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and this triple pack, which is why I bought it, $22.99 for 3. It's a pretty darn good deal.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, if you're
there was
interested,
a time when, not that long ago, you were paying at least $20 each, right?
Yeah.
For a smart plug.
And you still can. I think Best Buy is the only one selling these at a discount.
That's a nice
brand new technology. Yeah. So that's my plug for 2023. Matter, absolutely killer new functionality, rolling out to routers, thermostats, plugs. I mean, you name it. It's rolling out across the whole ecosystem of the Internet of Things, IoT, and it's just going to make everything way better, way cheaper, much more compatible. It's awesome. All right, Lewis, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a TV show. This one's called The Last of Us. I think maybe we've talked about it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Have you watched this thing? I don't think you did.
I have not watched it yet. It's been on my list, though. It's been high on my list. I've heard mixed reviews.
It came out early in the year. It seems like ages and ages ago that I watched it now, the first season. It's an HBO original, which, of course, means you watch it on Max. Stupidest name change. That's one of the stupidest things of the year.
I agree.
So it's, if you're not familiar with it, it's a post-apocalyptic series about a guy transporting a young girl across the United States 20 years after a pandemic caused by a kind of crazy fungus that infects people and turns them into monstrous creatures. It's based on a 2013 video game, which I've never played.
I haven't played it either. It's been sitting back here in my queue for about 5 years.
2013. So anyway, this is the rare video game adaptation that turns out to be great. I mean, it's a great show. It stars Pedro Pascal, aka the Mandalorian, as Joel. He's the smuggler who's tasked with taking this teenager named Ella, played by Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones, getting her across the country. And I don't know if it's really a spoiler. I mean, the kid has some immunity to this disease, right? And that's why. So they need to get her to this place so they can maybe come up with a cure, right?
Okay.
But
I did not know that. Spoiler alert.
I think that's pretty well known. Anyway, it's TV show. It looks great. Great writing. Acting's great. To me, it took me back to the first couple seasons of Walking Dead before that show turned to crap.
When did it turn to crap? I'm behind on Walking Dead. I got to Negan, and then I was
when it turned into a soap opera with zombies in the background.
Yeah,
I don't know when that happened. Season 2 of Walking Dead is one of the best seasons of any show I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean that show was awesome when it first started out, and this show is that same kind of thing. It's building this world of this post-apocalyptic world, right? And it reminded me a lot of that. It's also a little bit like The Road, if you ever read that book.
Oh, dude,
that was a great.
I didn't read the book, The Road, but I saw the movie, and it was one of the most poignant, powerful heartbreaks I've ever seen on the silver screen. I've wanted to go back and watch it, but it's so terribly sad that I can't, and bleak, and hopeless and awful that I can't even get myself to go see it again. But it was such a great movie. If you like post-apocalyptic movies, it's one of the best that's been made. But it's so sad that I can't even get myself to go back and watch it, even though I love it.
Read the book. The book was great.
I tried, but I found it very hard to follow.
Too many words.
Yeah.
Too many words.
So many words. We don't like words.
Anyway, the thing about this show, the relationship between the guy and this young girl is interesting, kind of like that relationship between the people in The Road, right? It's just kind of poignant, and I don't know, I thought it was a great show. So If you haven't watched it, I say
It's
put
high
it
on my
your
list, man. It's high on my list. And you just reminded me of another show that
Uh-oh.
maybe I think next week what we need to do, because there's going to be hardly any news next week, is we should double up. We should do 2 picks of things that we
Whoa.
like and 2 picks of things that we don't like, and then we'll just do that for the whole show because there's going to be
Holy-
nothing next week. Absolutely, nothing. It's going to be an absolute wasteland of garbage.
Wow. Yeah, be sure to tune in next week. Wasteland of garbage.
No, we're going to avoid the wasteland by coming up with our own dreamscape of actual interesting stuff that we liked from 2023 and stuff that we hated, which is coming up soon. Okay,
Tech News Wasteland.
Griffin, what do you got?
Very well. So the biggest change to
Very well.
2023 is that starting in January, I started working for Cult of Mac full time.
Oh boy,
And
here we go.
When I started here, I knew that I don't know what you could possibly be dreading here. When I started, I knew that I was going to have less time to listen to podcasts and music while I work, because my day-to-day tasks would mostly involve writing, and I'm the sort of person where I just can't write a single word if there's like music playing at
Same
all.
here.
So I was like, man, I'm probably gonna have to like reduce the amount of podcasts I listen to. I culled a few of them, and that takes priority over the music that I listen to. So less time for listening to audio content. Well, in the past few weeks, I've had more opportunity to drive around alone, because a lot of holidays going on that'll continue through the end of the year. So I've now caught up, and I'm listening to more of my music these days, and music, it's pretty great. That's my pick for 2023. The concept of music.
Okay.
It's,
Wow. That is broad.
you put on a great tune, makes you feel things. Takes up a whole drive. This year I've been building up some playlists in Apple Music. For a variety of moods. I have a road trip playlist, a sad playlist, a party playlist, a lot of stuff. Music, it's pretty good.
All right, wow.
If
Maybe we shouldn't
Yeah?
have had
Oh,
him
go
go
ahead.
last.
what are you talking about? Music is wonderful. I would take music over a smart home or The Last of Us, a show I've never seen.
Oh, come. Well, I mean, look, music is a integral part of the best content that exists, right? I mean, the music makes the content. Imagine Indiana Jones without John Williams. It would have been a movie
Exactly.
that half the people saw, or Star Wars, right? I mean, hey, look, I'm with you on music. I love music. I especially love movie music and show music because it just adds like this extra dimension that you wouldn't otherwise have. Is there anything else that you had? I thought maybe I cut you off.
Well, I guess if I were to turn this into an actual product thing, I'll talk about the speaker that I use on my computer. This is let me bring it up here.
All right.
This is
Oh, it's heavy. Holy,
Holy
what is
moly.
that?
this is
a
the
rolling
speaker
guitar
that I. Yeah, that's basically what it is. I got it from my neighbor Al, who works on guitars, and he said, "Hey, I have this
It's
amplifier.
a
Do you want
Roland
it?" I said,
amplifier.
"Sure."
It's like a giant square bass amp or something.
Yeah, I think it's
You play music
it's
through
called
that?
it's called the Roland Cube 30X. I just headphone jack out of my Mac Mini that sits under my desk, and it sort of acts as a foot stand too, because it's giant and blocky. It's not a home pod. It doesn't do beam forming
It's an
around my room.
honest
It
to
doesn't.
goodness guitar amplifier that
doesn't-
he's listening to
it-
music out of.
Yeah,
You need
it
to send you
doesn't.
some HomePods.
It doesn't scan the room or anything. It's just a giant speaker that goes forwards. It's not even stereo. It's just one line. I have mono audio set in the accessibility settings on my computer. Just blasts audio directly into my face.
Wow.
Wow. That explains the hairdo.
Now we know
Exactly.
the secret,
Like
Lewis.
It's just like that Maxell commercial from the
That's
70s
right.
or
That's
80s
how he
or
does it. We've learned he inadvertently gave away the secret. Loud music blasted right into your face. Okay,
And,
so you're listening to
it's
music.
so loud that I just have. It's so loud that I usually keep my Mac on like the pretty much in the top 3 notch, like the first 3 notches of volume, like the bottom 15%, and that's loud enough.
Griffin listens to music on a electric guitar amp. Now that's something that I've never heard before.
And he's
It has
singing
all these settings where I can turn on like these warbly sound effects, or like
Put some reverb on there?
echo. Yeah. While I'm
running through the
listening to-
tremolo.
Yeah, I do that when I'm editing the show, and I've received no complaints of my editing of the show.
Well, the only complaint that we get is that it's not loud enough. That's it. And the content itself.
Well,
but
it
of
sounds
course,
plenty loud to me.
yeah, well, that happens when you have your volume turned way up. The key to getting the volume right is to turn your volume down as low as you can while still hearing it, and then turn up the levels as high as they go so that you're not peaking, but the listening volume is appropriate. You know, it sounds like it is balanced. Like that's the key that I've learned.
Oh, pshaw. Our listeners just need to listen to it onto a Roland Cube 30X guitar amp.
Well, that's the problem. You're not
the
listening
way
on
it's
150 amp.
designed to be listened to.
I have to disagree with you. I didn't design it to be listened to on a guitar amp. I wonder what that sounds like. I wonder how this thing carries voices. Do you listen to podcasts on here?
Oh yeah.
Do you really?
It's the main output on my Mac. Everything goes through here.
That is so funny. I mean, I guess it's a performance speaker, isn't it?